Hey guys, Ben here and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about DCTV and Superman Lois. So if you do go on to enjoy the video, please be sure to leave a like and a comment and subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future DCTV videos later this year. Okay, so as we know, recently there's been reports that Warner Brothers is apparently trying to merge with Paramount. Now Paramount is quite a bit smaller in terms of money wise and also IP. Yes, they have a lot of IP, but they don't have as much as Warner Brothers. And so Warner Brothers, if this deal went through, would be the one to kind of engulf Paramount and have access to all their IP, all their networks and all of their assets. So obviously that would be huge. And I feel like people's minds, including mine, first went to, okay, let's think about the IP. Let's think about, you know, the projects that they've got with them, right? You think the Mission Impossible franchise. More recently, you can think A Quiet Place. There is so many different valuable pieces of IP that they have. They have The Godfather. They have, most importantly, at least TV-wise, they have Star Trek. I mean, the list goes on and on. Like, you can name literally anything, and I'm sure most of you guys know this. You've got like Friday the 13th, you've got Indiana Jones, but obviously they wouldn't get it because it's with Disney now, but they originally had it. And then you have Top Gun. Transformers would be a huge one because obviously that's a franchise that's still going on. So there is lots of different things in terms of the IP that Warner Brothers would obviously benefit from. But in today's video, we have to talk about something more specific and something that I realized just a bit afterwards. I don't even think I mentioned it in my main video. Maybe I just like briefly mentioned it when I talked about this in terms of the news, but let's talk about this because it's very important. So if Warner Brothers buys Paramount, they would get access to a broadcast network once again, and they don't have anything right now. Obviously they owned a large amount of shares in the CW, but they sold them off over a year ago to Nexstar. We all know about that. I'm not going to go into that. So this would be huge because they would have access to none other than CBS, and CBS is a big network. They get big numbers. If you guys remember, Supergirl season 1 was on CBS. Yes, they didn't want to keep it because it wasn't doing like the insane numbers that some of their shows do. Like, I believe NCIS is on CBS and it does huge numbers, like in the high millions. And so with them acquiring this broadcast network, it would be huge. It would give Warner Brothers access to a larger audience, a larger TV audience, because people trust CBS. The people, well, I guess the average people watching wouldn't think, oh, let's go check if Warner Brothers has bought Paramount, or, oh, has there been a change in management at this network? No, they think CBS, they don't think Paramount. But by getting access to CBS, it could be huge because they can start to trickle in some of their content. So if this merger actually goes through, and obviously we're just theorizing, it's in early stages of talks, like we don't know if this is actually going to be a proper thing, but if it did happen, let's think about what could happen. So could CBS be the new CW? Could it be a place for DC in terms of broadcast television instead of just having Max as their only home? Obviously it would give them more diversity in terms of where they can put their content and have different types of content. I think that was the good thing about having the CW. They could make different types of shows than the shows they were releasing on DC Universe, or you know, when Titans and Doom Patrol went to HBO Max, obviously that kind of continued, but it originally started at DC Universe. Those types of shows were very different from what we had on the CW. And so the CW was unique in that it was obviously on television and it was airing every week, and it wasn't just on some streaming service. And obviously streaming services have their place, and James Gunn will use it for the DCU. You will see a lot of DCU TV shows on Max, but I think it would be super valuable for Warner Brothers to get access to a huge television network like CBS. And so one of my fans online, one of my viewers said, I see a possibility to bring back the Arrowverse or just DC shows being made for CBS in general in the future. So I agree. Like, I don't see a future for Arrowverse. That's not what I'm agreeing with. Like, I do believe the Arrowverse is probably over after Superman Lois. Obviously, being extremely biased because I love the Arrowverse. So if I put my Arrowverse hat on, I'm like, yeah, I want this, and this could happen on CBS, like what if, you know? But at the end of the day, I think that's very unlikely. If anything happened and CBS was acquired by Warner Brothers in the Paramount merger, basically they could start their own new Arrowverse with like a new set of characters, a new set of actors, and basically you could have like an Arrowverse 2.0, which is just a very cool concept, I think, because I don't think everything should be connected. Like, I think having a certain amount of shows and a certain amount of films is going to be good to be connected. And I think what the Arrowverse had with, you know, having 5 nights of DC shows in a week was just something special. It's something different than shows just airing one after the other, kind of like how Marvel has been showing their shows on Disney Plus. It's like one show, then it's the next one, and it's the next one like a couple months after the next one, but they never air them side by side. And I think that's what was super special about the Arrowverse, and that's what is special about broadcast TV, because you've got to get in at certain times. Like, you have to start airing in the fall, or you have to start airing at the mid-season or in the summer, and so there's a proper schedule to it, and it's not like a streaming service. So I think that's what makes the Arrowverse more unique than something like the TV shows that Marvel is doing on Disney Plus. And so, is there any future for DC shows being made in CBS? Yes, definitely. If Warner Brothers does end up merging with Paramount, for sure. Like, I could totally see it happening. But I'm going to say probably no for Arrowverse. And I think it would be a kind of new universe. Do I think it's going to be connected to the DCEU if that's the case, and we actually get CBS? I don't think so. I think it would be separate, just because, like I said, diversity in content is a good thing, and I think network television is very different from streaming, so why not go with something different, in my opinion. But let's move on to the final topic. It's actually very related. It's to do with Superman Lois. And so as we look forward to Superman Lois Season 4 restarting filming, actually not very long from now, we are currently on Christmas Eve as I'm recording this video on the 24th, and the tentative start date for Superman Lois Season 4 to get started on that final season is January the 11th. So that's 11 days after the new year, and obviously we got a week left of this year, and then so if you add that up, that is 18 days until Superman Lois comes back and starts filming. Obviously that is very, very exciting for us fans of Superman Lois. I can't wait to get behind the scenes videos, to get behind the scenes photos, to get a glimpse at Season 4, which is also the final season. But as I reported a while ago, we know that some changes is going to be happening to Superman Lois's physical sets up in Vancouver. We know that the Smallville lot is still there. The street, that main street in Smallville, still exists. They haven't scrapped it. They've actually gone away from using that farm that they had where the Kent family farm was. Don't know what their situation is going to be like and what their solution is going to be. Are they going to reuse shots? Are they going to move the set to a different place? Not sure about that. But in terms of actual Smallville backlot sets, yeah, we've actually got a photo that has been released online. Pop it up on the screen right here, and this is of some guys who are obviously working on Superman Lois as part of the crew. They're back on the set, and so clearly they are prepping things in terms of actual physical locations. Probably gonna have to put the lights back and get everything working again, and then start moving, you know, bits and pieces around the town to make everything work, obviously very smoothly, because pre-production is in full swing. We know the writers are busy at work writing the 10 episodes. We've got one episode 100% confirmed to be finished, but you can definitely presume they've finished at least 3 or 4 by now, just because we are starting with episode 1 in the new year. Clearly they'll have some extra days at the start of January if they come back just after the new year. Obviously they'll be on the Christmas break as of like right now, probably today. So things are moving along for Superman Lois, and pre-production is, as you can see, these people are back, and I'm sure there's a lot of people on the sets working, just, you know, figuring stuff out, especially in this last week and the week before, because now we've got the winter break and probably no one's going to be working for a while. Maybe they'll work, you know, just after Christmas, but then they'll stop for New Year, and then they really need to get things going as we head towards that January 11th date. So it's just really good to see some movement in terms of Superman Lois coming back to filming. But in the new year, I'm going to be very active on YouTube, and I'm going to keep you guys updated about what's going on with Superman Lois Season 4, Episode 1 and beyond. But that pretty much does it for this video, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please be sure to leave a like and a comment, and subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future videos. And you can click on the top right corner of the screen to watch my latest video. But for now, I'll catch you guys later. Goodbye.
I see